we are.
There we are. And we are live. Let me test my sound real quick. Make sure the volume is up.
Unprofessional.
It's not professional.
That is a before the show thing, sir.
This is before the show.
This is not before the show. We are live.
We are live. This is before the show.
We are live, and there are people in the chat. Okay, the show is going.
Man, they're in the chat ready to go. Yeah, we started a little late, man.
We did not start late.
No, we started a little late.
You only all you do is give life to the rumors by constantly acknowledging them. We are not late.
Can't tell people 7:15 p.m. and then start at 7:30.
I didn't say 7:15 p.m.
We say it every week.
In fact, I said change the time to 7:30 is what I said.
No,
but
it's ingrained in people's heads. 7:15. It used to be 7.
It did used to be 7. And then the tyrants at work said, "No, you can't do that anymore."
Urban's in the house. What's up, Urban? Says, "What up? God sent me." Salute. All right. Appreciate it. Filthy's in the house. What's up, Filthy? Says, "Is it just me or did Ravens rush signing a 33-year-old running back with tremendous wear and tear prematurely? Why not just wait till this next season was over?" I don't think it's premature. I mean, he had a great year. He earned it. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it, Filthy. We'll talk about it. Let's see. Osman, what's going on? Osman says, "Hey, how's everybody doing? How you doing, Osman? We're good over here." Just Aloe's in the house. Says, "What up, LBHT crew? Hope everyone's having a great week." Hey, salute, Just Aloe. We got Jada6 in the house. Says, "Jose getting lit for the B-Day, huh? Happy belated birthday." Thank you. I was gonna wait to the other side to acknowledge the birthday, but today is somebody's birthday. It's our guy, Coach, from Sip to Tally. Happy birthday, Coach. When Coach comes over here, make sure you shower him with happy birthdays. All right?
Make sure you shower us with donations, and we'll make sure it gets over to him.
Well, I was going to say, you go over to patreon.com/sip2tally. Sign up over there. That'd be a great birthday gift for him. Okay?
It would be.
You know who else's birthday it is? Our friend Duran. You don't remember Duran from high school, do you?
No, that was not my friend.
He was, yeah. Nah. But it is Duran's birthday. Happy birthday, Duran. Appreciate it. I was going to download this picture. He posted every year on Facebook. We're at Dao's wedding, and we have this look on our face like, because they brought out the wedding cake, and we're like, yo.
Ridiculous.
RTV says his birthday was Friday. Happy birthday, RTV.
Happy birthday, RTV.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Just Al. Says happy birthday. Appreciate that. Daniel Franklin, what's going on? Says can't complain when they finally invest in Daniel, your guys' idea for investment on the offense is crazy. What's up, Endo? $20 donation.
Thank you, Endo. Appreciate it.
For cookies for my birthday. Yes. Appreciate it. Thank you, RTV. All right.
Yeah, that's where I was going. Like, if you don't know, yesterday was Jose's birthday. And if you're here right now, you should wish him a happy birthday. Go ahead and throw in that birthday donation, for the cookies, like Hendo said. Jose loves some cookies. Or any
Alfonso's birthday's today, too. What? Happy birthday, Alfonso.
All right, y'all got to stop.
That's what I'm talking about.
Happy birthday, Alfonso, but that's it. No more.
Taurus gang in the house, man. Showing up. That's what I'm talking about, man. Happy birthday, Alfonso. I hope you're enjoying your day. Everybody's birthday is in May, man. I hope you're enjoying your day.
My birthday is not in May.
Look,
and I'm the one that matters.
It's not your turn. Thank you, Andrew. Everybody tell Alfonso happy birthday. Everybody tell RTV happy birthday. Everybody tell Coach happy birthday. All right? I'm celebrating today. Huh?
Coach ain't even in here.
He's going to be here soon. He's probably still doing his stream.
He probably is. And then, once he comes in here, then you can tell him happy birthday.
And you already got like 25 people in here. They're gonna hit him with happy birthday as soon as Coach comes in the chat. happy birthday. That's what I want to see. I want to see happy birthday. I want to see party emojis and all that stuff. Cake emojis, all that. Okay?
No, Hendo. You see, you're taking it too far now. That's way too long ago. Happy birthday, Jasmine.
Yes, happy birthday, Jasmine. That's right. That's right. Happy birthday.
No, man.
That wasn't
We're
too
not
long
doing
ago.
that. It is Wednesday evening.
No. Happy birthday. Hope you enjoyed your birthday, Jasmine.
Goodness.
Okay. We have a lot to talk about, and we don't want to be here for 2 hours.
Yeah, we don't.
My goodness. I know you guys enjoyed the free show. We enjoy it too. But we do have more, okay, on the overtime show. If you want to hang out for even longer, and there you can talk about whatever you want.
Honestly, it's a better show.
Yeah, in some ways. Mm-hmm. In some ways. Okay, patreon.com/LBHT Show. That's how you do it. All right. Osman, look with the birthday love. Says happy birthday, Jose, Coach, and Alfonso.
Thank you,
Appreciate
that.
Appreciate it.
Hold on to that for Coach and Alfonso.
Yeah. We'll divvy up, I mean, after YouTube gets their cut, then we'll divvy up what's left.
Thank you.
Did I ever tell you guys I told you guys the engraving story about Super Chats. The day he found out YouTube gets their cut, he was not a happy camper.
No, none of us are.
No. Game too easy. What's good? Appreciate you. All right. Let's hit the intro, and then we got a lot to talk about. All right. Are you ready, B?
Always ready.
Let's go. All right. It was so nice you had to hit it twice. What is going on, LBHT crew? B, what is going on? You're muted. Wow.
Ain't nothing going on. Nothing at all. Okay. My Lakers are out. The Panthers are doing their thing, but it's quiet. It's off season. I haven't checked in on my Dodgers because it's not October yet, and none of the games matter till October, so I don't know. But nothing's going on really.
Man, there's a lot going on. There's a lot to talk about today.
Is there?
Every time you and I talk, we do our pre-production meeting.
Yeah,
right. We do our pre-production meeting. We say, man, there's not a whole lot going on. Let's make this a quick show. It's always our longest shows. All right. Or something pops up at the last second. I ain't hearing about this Derrick Henry signing until I was getting ready to leave work. I'm like, I guess we'll talk about that. Ardarius Washington just got hurt, man.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man.
I hate those injuries, man. I hate those injuries for anybody, man. I mean, I hate injuries in general, right? They keep you out for a long time. But it's not even training camp.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying? And this is a year, especially for a player like Ardarius Washington, I think he's a good safety. Mm-hmm. And this is a year for him to really show out and get a big contract. Yeah.
Because the NFL does everything they can to squeeze all of the good years out of you before they have to pay you. He should have been paid this past offseason. He was a free agent, except he was a restricted free agent. Well, how can you be free and restricted? How does that make sense?
Yeah, these things shouldn't happen. There shouldn't be any restricted free agents. There shouldn't be any franchise tags. Do away with all that. Pay people what they're worth. But get better soon, Ardarius. We're gonna be talking about you some more in the show, man. I hate that happened to you, man. Who we got in here? Yes, Just Aloe. Not even minicamp. By the way, Just Aloe, you said up here. Today is Cyan Phillips' 92nd birthday. If you know, you know. I don't know who that is.
I have no idea. I looked it up and it was like a Welsh actress.
Don't know who Cyan Phillips is. But while we're at it, okay, I turned 45 yesterday. Okay. And my youngest son, your nephew B, that's my guy, man. That's my guy. Give me a big hug. He said, "Okay, birthday man." You don't say birthday, but he says, "Okay, birthday man." He's like, "You're halfway to 90." I was like, "Oh, thanks."
What have I been telling you about Jacob for about 5 years now? Ever since he could talk, Jacob is a jerk. Why would you say that to someone?
He said halfway to 90. He's like,
he's like,
I mean, factually right. Yes, thank you.
Jesus.
They do, man. They do.
You gotta fire him as executive producer or assistant producer after that one. He can't just be hanging around.
I know, man. I know, Urban. I know. I was just, yeah, Daniel, cold blooded. It was cold blooded. He ain't mean nothing by it. He thought it was a compliment. I was like, all right, man, appreciate it. But yeah, look, man, it is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Hope your week is going well, but if not, hopefully it gets better starting right now. We are streaming live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. So wherever you're watching us, make sure you hit that like button, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you listen to the audio form of this, we put this out on Thursday at lunchtime. So we hope you're enjoying your lunch break. Make sure you give us a 5-star review and share this with your friends and loved ones. Also, I know I promised you guys a newsletter. It's not fake, okay? It's real. It's real. It is coming soon. Okay, we had a setback. We had to wait. We had to wait to put it out. It is coming out. We got everything resolved. It's coming out soon. Go to LBHTShow.com. Sign up. It's free. And it's awesome. All right.
And you know what people say? They say, if it's free, I'll take 3. Don't be afraid to sign up with extra emails. Just Aloe says that actress Sean, I forgot her name already, was Livia on I, Claudius. And congratulations, Just Aloe. That's the oldest thing that anyone has ever said on this show.
Okay. Now what is I, Claudius?
It's a movie about a Roman emperor, Claudius.
Oh, okay.
It's the oldest thing that anyone has ever said. So, way to go. Way to go.
He said, I'm halfway to 100. Mind your own business.
Yes.
Oh, man. All right. NDT Sports says, don't worry, Jose. I'm getting old too. I just turned 28. Man, get out of my face. Get out of my face, MDT.
I can't stand MDT. I said the Lakers are out. He's like, my Warriors are still in. You're down 3-1. You're going to be out in one more game. Why you always got to talk? Why don't you just sit and listen, MDT?
They're still in because of scheduling.
Right. Scheduling conflicts with your elimination.
All right, man. So, we do have a couple of things that we want to cover, man. Derrick Henry getting paid. We want to talk about. They didn't put out the whole schedule. It's just these kind of leaked some things out, right?
Yeah, I don't think they put out the whole schedule yet, and I am so sick of the NFL trying to make the schedule release a thing. I hate it so much.
Yeah. Killer Cam saying we got flagged. We're going to talk about the NBA rigging things, by the way. Okay. Mm-hmm. When we talk about sports is fixed, this is what they're talking about. All right. Not the NFL, the NBA. No, we'll talk about that, man. I mean, look, it's a lottery for reasons. Sometimes, people like that win. A story that people won't talk about because everybody's going to be focused on the Mavericks getting Cooper flag is who got number 2. Okay. That's going to be a much bigger problem. Okay. Because they're getting young talent. I didn't even notice the Spurs had a rookie of the year on the team.
Yeah. And it wasn't Victor Wembanyama or De'Aaron Fox who are also on their team. They're going to be very good very soon.
Yeah, that team's going to be a problem. All right. So we got a lot to talk about. We're going to get to it. What's up, Andrew? Appreciate you coming through. All right. Here we go. But first, we like to start every show with a Black History fact. And B and Akole have a Black History fact for you.
This week on the LBHT Black History Fact, the Move bombing was a devastating incident that occurred on May 13, 1985, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Move was a radical black liberation group that advocated for communal living, environmental consciousness, and resistance against government oppression. The group, often at odds with city authorities, had fortified a row house at 6221 Osage Avenue, which they used as a headquarters. Tensions between Move and the city had been escalating for years, stemming from previous conflicts and the group's rejection of conventional social norms. In 1985, Philadelphia officials decided to evict Move members from the house, citing complaints from neighbors and allegations of illegal activity. The standoff began early in the day when police attempted to forcibly remove Move members, leading to an intense exchange of gunfire between authorities and occupants of the house. As the confrontation dragged on, city officials made the drastic decision to drop a bomb on the building, using explosives provided by the FBI. The bomb ignited a massive fire that quickly engulfed the Move house. Despite knowing there were children inside, officials allowed the fire to spread, refusing to intervene as it consumed entire blocks of homes. By the time it was extinguished, 61 homes had been destroyed, displacing over 250 residents. The bombing killed 11 members of Move, including 5 children, leaving only 2 survivors. The response from officials in the aftermath was heavily criticized. Although investigations later condemned the bombing as unconscionable, no city officials were held criminally responsible for the attack. Many viewed the event as an extreme overreach of government power and a blatant disregard for black lives. The Move bombing remains one of the most disturbing instances of state violence in U.S. history, continuing to spark discussions about justice, accountability, and the lasting impact on the affected communities.
See, this is one of those stories that, that I have to bring up when we talk about, how racism still affects us to this day. This is in 1985. I was 5 years old.
Yeah, you just turned 5 years old on your birthday.
Yes, yeah, it was on my birthday. Exactly. I just turned 5, right? Had probably celebrating that at McDonald's. Had the crown on my head. You guys don't remember McDonald's birthdays. You don't know about those. That's when McDonald's going to McDonald's for your birthday was like going to Sky Zone now.
Or it was McDonald's or the old Pizza Hut. When they used to let you eat inside, and they had the red plastic glasses.
Yeah.
And their food.
But was good. I mean, they bombed a whole neighborhood, man.
And just letting it, just saying, hey, yeah, don't put it out.
And they knew they bombed knowing children, and Akole said it. 11 members were killed, including 5 children. So 6 members were killed.
Right.
Right. You know what I'm saying? The children were just there, and what did they do that warranted a bombing? Like
nothing.
Absolutely nothing. These are the things that you have to be aware of that goes on with this country, and there's no justice. Nobody went to jail for that, So yeah,
it's just alarming, and it's a thing that people don't really get taught about, right? I didn't know about this until relatively recently, and I'm not aware. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm not aware of any other instances where white people were bombed by the police. I know of another instance where a black person was bombed.
I know there was a. Oh wait, was he black or was he white? That Dallas shooter.
No, he was black. That's what I was talking about. They used a robot, and they just rolled a grenade up to him and killed him. But
yeah, the certain types of artillery are, I guess, okay for certain skin colors. Other ones, we got to talk it out. It's a standoff. If you threaten government officials with rifles to fight over your grazing land for your cows, you remember that?
The ranch that took over a federal building. I believe it was in Oregon, wasn't it? Oregon or Washington. And they just let them stay there. They got care packages in the mail. They let them through. Then, I guess they didn't realize that they weren't friends. They got into a gunfight with the FBI. Still didn't kill all of them. They still just took them out and took them to jail. They didn't drop a bomb on them.
Yeah. That's the country we're in. Okay, don't let anybody tell you different.
But hey, Ardarius Washington tore his Achilles, so
Yeah. But all right, let's start there. All right, prayers up for our guy Ardarius Washington, who was planning to have a big year for the Ravens, and even though we drafted Malachi Starks, and I know I already see people saying, "Oh, see this, that's why we got him. That's why it's important to get him." No. I was told that the Ravens used 3 safeties.
Yeah.
Right. And to be honest, the way Ardarius Washington played towards the end of the year last year, and you said it, there was no guarantee that Malachi Starks was going to be out there starting.
Right.
Right. Because, yes, he's got all the talent in the world. He still has to learn the defense. He still has to learn how to play at an NFL level. It may not take him long, right? But when you have players like Ardarius Washington, he's a good, solid football player.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows the system. Just like Chuck Clark, right? When Earl Thomas was here, just like, I don't know why brought me in here. Chuck Clark knows, he knows the game. He knows what he's doing, right? Those guys don't just give up their jobs.
No.
They're locked in, especially on a year where they're trying to get paid. They're not letting you just walk in there and steal a job. You have to really beat them for it.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, Malachi Starks, you're up. Jeff Rabeck, I saw him tweet out saying that we're probably going to look to pick up a veteran off the street because, of course, we don't trust our young players. Of course.
Why would you?
We got Bo Braid, we got Sanusi Kane. Why aren't you letting them battle it out? Like, why aren't you? I mean, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself because they didn't actually go and get anybody yet. Maybe they wait until camp to see what those guys do, and if they need to get somebody, fine. That's a smart thing to do. But if they go out and get somebody now, I wouldn't like that.
Yeah. And I've seen a lot of people talking about, so you just draft the best player, you don't draft for need because injuries, needs change by the minute. People say. And I'm like, all right, but you're pointing it out now because of the specific player who was hit by injury, right? Nobody will say anything in 2021 when you needed an O lineman, and then your O lineman got hurt, and then you went 8-9. You know what I mean? Because I hate the argument back and forth about best player available versus need, because no one anywhere is saying take a significantly worse player at a position of need. No one ever says that. No one means that when they say take. It's if you are drafting and there are comparable players, take the one that fills a need. In this case, it would have been Josh Simmons, assuming the medicals checked out for Baltimore, right? But yeah, nobody means, hey, take a worse player and then just forget about the talent, right? And more specifically, when we're talking about Baltimore, the point is you don't have the luxury of just taking the best players when you ignore the other phases of player acquisition. You don't go out in free agency and fill needs. You don't use trades to fill needs. You have to then go in the draft and fill your needs. You have to do it. Otherwise, you go out there just with glaring holes in your roster. And people come in here all the time and defend Eric DeCosta and talk about how great he is, and he's doing such an excellent job, and this is one of the best rosters in the league. It's not one of the best rosters in the league, and picks like this, and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with Malachi Starks, but picks like this is why it's not one of the best rosters in the league, because it's a poorly constructed team, right? Without Lamar Jackson, the team is 4-9. That's not a good team. That's not a well constructed. You are a Lamar Jackson vehicle, right? And I know this because Carolina for a long time was a Cam Newton and Luke Kuechly vehicle. And that's not to say there weren't other talented players on the team, but it wasn't a cohesive team. It wasn't a good roster. That's why Carolina got to the Super Bowl, and Cam was the best quarterback in the league that year, and they got beat by a team carrying the worst quarterback in the league that year because they were a great team. They had talent all over their roster. Carolina had two guys, and then when other players had to step up, they couldn't do it. That's kind of what the Ravens are like now. They're getting away from that slowly. They're starting to get playmakers on offense who can help them, win without Lamar Jackson, and hopefully he doesn't miss any time. But for a very long time, for the majority of his career, it's just been, man, Lamar, go save us, right? And that's why I bring up 2021, because that's the year you traded Orlando Brown, and so you had a massive hole at right tackle, and you went into the draft and you took Rashad Bateman and I think it was Rashad Bateman and Owe that year.
Owe.
Right? And then you go out there in the first game of the season and Ronnie Stanley goes down. And now that's how good Lamar Jackson is, because at that point he was still able to carry them to a winning record. They were 7-5, but then he went down. And you finished the season 1-4 and missed the playoffs.
Right.
Because it's a poorly constructed team.
And it's funny because I've heard a few people talk about this O-line and say they don't have to be great because Lamar Jackson will make them good. That's not how it's supposed to work with O-line.
No.
Right? The O-line is supposed to make everybody good. Right? They're supposed to make the quarterback good, your running back good. What's up, Tracy?
Thank you, Tracy.
Tracy says, hope you had a wonderful birthday with family, Jose. Thank you. Also, can't forget B. Hope things are well with you. I am still worried about our O-line. Yep, that's exactly what we're talking about. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you very much, Tracy.
And salute to Big Cuz. I see you in there. Big Reg. Man, shout out to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all coming through. But, yes, people say, oh, well, he makes the O-line better. He doesn't make them better. He makes them look better.
Yeah.
Right? The O-line is supposed to give the quarterback time, open up holes for the running back, give wide receivers more time, protect your quarterback, and it gives a quarterback time to find the open wide receiver. It gives a wide receiver more time to get open, right? It makes the whole offense look better when they're in sync and they're playing well. But we don't believe we have a good O-line. We're hoping we have a good O-line. And it could have been a lot worse if we didn't sign Ronnie Stanley.
Mm-hmm.
And they had no plan. They had no plan whatsoever to improve the O-line. Okay. Ronnie Stanley, they weren't 100% sure if he was coming back. They weren't sure if they were going to sign him. They didn't look like they had any answer in terms of, well, I know they didn't have any answer. They had no plans to replace him.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they got something done. And they were never even thinking about replacing the guards.
No.
They're going to go with Voorhees, bring back Ben Cleveland, who couldn't get on the field last year, and pray for the best. That's a terrible plan. And you would not accept that on defense.
Right. And it's funny because the exact same thing happened on defense, right? And you're right. They look at him and they say, hey, you know what? They'll be better next year. And maybe they will. Maybe they'll go out there and maybe Voorhees and Foley, they will be good starting guards and the O-line will be fine. But, you don't look at the safeties and say, Sanusi Kane and Bo Braid were rookies and Ardarius, came in mid-season. He was an undrafted guy. Maybe they'll just be better next season. Yep. Right? Because all you hear is the safeties, they were bad. We had to use a first-round pick to improve that room. But not on the O-line. On the O-line, it's, they like those guys. So stop complaining. Stop saying they should replace them. Eric DeCosta likes Voorhees, and I don't care who he likes.
Yeah.
I hear who is able to block someone in front of Lamar Jackson and who's not. Right? And right now, it looks like they have two guys standing in front of him who can't block. And that's not something that any Ravens fans should be okay with.
Right. Like that whole learning on the job when you're in your window to win a Super Bowl, that's not okay. Right? Like we keep saying, oh, they're going to get better. Well, when are they going to get better? Are they going to be better this season? Are they going to be? Is this the year where we have a wall out there? Nobody believes that. Nobody can part the lips and say, man, I think Voorhees is going to be really good. I haven't heard that from anybody. I haven't heard anybody say, man, look, I think Voorhees could be an All-Pro. I think Falele could be an All-Pro.
Which is funny because they said that the year before they saw him play.
Yeah.
Now then he went out there and he played a few games, and now it's just like, they like him, whatever.
And I tell you what, I'll say this: Falele could be an All-Pro. He has the size. He's got the power. He just needs to know who to block. If he ever puts it together, he has a potential. Voorhees doesn't. And nobody believes for a second that Voorhees can be that guy. It's just, oh, well, he's the starter. He'll be fine. That's all. That's the best I've heard about Voorhees is he'll be fine. That's not good enough.
Right.
Right.
It's unfortunate, but that also goes into the other news from today. Derrick Henry signed a 2-year extension for $30 million, $25 million of it guaranteed. Congratulations to Derrick Henry. He had a fantastic season last year. Certainly well-deserved extension, but you just question like why at this point would you do it when he had another year under contract, and you could at least wait until the season and see how he's still playing before giving the money. But this is one of those rare moments where they decide if they're going to go ahead and pay somebody.
Shout out to Imagine Bull. Appreciate that. All right.
This is one of those rare moments where they decided they're going to go ahead and actually pay somebody on the offense. So I'm not really going to criticize it. He's a major piece of the offense. You're not talking about even competing for a Super Bowl if he's not playing at a high level. So good job to DaCosta getting that done, and congratulations to Derrick Henry.
Absolutely. I'm very happy for him. He deserves the money. Pay players what they're worth, man. He's worth it.
Yeah, and thank you to Major Bull? Yes, for the $3 donation. He says, like Henry, but most money ever to a running back over 30 is indefensible, especially when he didn't even need to be extended at all right now. Bid against themselves and overpaid. But the Ellisons, Trossets, be more beatdowns, Hensleys, etc. will glaze no matter what. Shaking my head.
Well, like we just said, pay players what they're worth. I mean, he was the second best running back in the league. Coach will argue he is the best running back in the league because he didn't run behind the best O-line in the league. That's a fact.
Yeah, but he ran next to Lamar Jackson, which is what allowed him to do that. I mean, let's not pretend that he was playing at that level the year before in Tennessee.
Yeah. But no, you pay players what they're worth because, you can say he had one more year left on his contract. But what if he says, man, I could retire right now if you're not going to pay me my value? Like, I'm not going to be out here competing with Saquon Barkley, and he's got this huge deal, and I had this $5 million deal, right? Yeah. And if he says, well, if you're not going to pay me, I'm out, what are you going to do? Because, this well-built team didn't go and draft a running back. Like, that's another thing I said. Go and get a running back that's ready to ball out. Had they went and got Judkins or Trevion Henderson, right, or Marion Hampton, if they went and got one of those running backs, then they can say, no, we ain't paying you. You can quit if you want.
Yeah. Right?
But they didn't do that because, well-built team.
Mm-hmm.
So, guess what? You got to pay him. Magic Bull says he's worth it, but he was already under contract. No, I hear you. History suggests he won't play well for the entirety of this contract, and it's only 2 years. Yes, Magic Bull, but to be fair, history said that he wasn't going to have the year that he had last year, right? His age and the amount of carries that he's had up to that point, there should have been a fall off last year. Some players, all-time greats, can defy the odds a little bit more, right? They're special players. Now, Do I think he's going to do exactly what he did last year? No, you can't. No, but I think he'll have a really good year still.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and look, man, we're leaning on that. So we gotta hope that he can still do it, and they are. If you don't make any other plans, then you gotta hope that guy can replicate what he did last year, and you gotta pay him accordingly. Money should have been spent on O line and Lamar/Zay extensions. O line for sure. Don't worry about Lamar; he's gonna get his money. Zay, yeah, I agree. They're gonna have to pay Zay, right? How many of you want to see Zay Flowers get paid, or think he should get paid? How much money do you think he's going to get? P.
Zay Flowers. Okay, so assuming he has a similar season to last year, maybe even a little bit better. I think he comes in the low 30s.
Low 30s.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to pay Zay Flowers $30 million per year? What's up, Adrian? Man, my bad. I was supposed to send you a link. Hold on. Let me see if I can send it because I'm using my phone right now. How many of you want to pay Zay Flowers $30 million a year? Because this is always a soft spot for Ravens fans. They don't want to pay wide receivers. They look at people look at wide receivers here in Baltimore the way they should be looking at safeties. Okay, they look at it as a low value position, and you shouldn't invest that much money into them. But you have to have weapons.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow, is that true? That's their first 4 games. I think in the chat, they're going Bills, Browns, Lions, Chiefs for their first 4 games next season. That is that's rough.
I don't have a problem with it, man. Like I like when the Ravens had tough schedules. I told you this. I don't like soft schedules for these Ravens teams because it's how Harbaugh coaches. Harbaugh plays down to the level of competition, and he has to feel like his back is against the wall. He has to feel like, man, we gotta take this serious, right? He gets up for the big games. So we're playing these big teams. They'll show up. It's when we gotta go and play. It's when we gotta go play the Steelers with no quarterback. It's when we gotta go play the Raiders when we don't lock in. So I want a hard schedule, and plus it also tells me where we stand at the end of the year, like where we compare to other teams. If we feel like we can win a Super Bowl, I don't care who we play. I'll take on anybody any day, right? If we feel like we're a Super Bowl caliber team, we can beat anybody. I know we can beat the Bills. We did it last year in the regular season. We should have done it in the playoffs. Not afraid of them. Not afraid of the Chiefs.
No, and I'm not saying you should be afraid of it, but the fact is it is a very tough stretch. Those are 4 good teams. Now, granted, who knows what's going to happen at quarterback with Cleveland, but the rest of that roster is very good, particularly their defensive line, which is going up against your biggest weakness, that O-line. So that'll be fun. But what happens? That's when the narratives are built, right? So first 4 weeks of the season, you've got the Chiefs coming in week 4, right? And that's Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice. I think that they brought in another receiver. They got Hollywood still, but I thought they had drafted somebody else. But regardless, you got Josh Allen, who's one of the top quarterbacks in the league. You've got the Lions, who have just an unbelievable offense with God knows how many weapons you can't even count. The narrative after 4 weeks, is it going to be that Malachi Starks can't play because you gave a bunch of points to 3 out of the 4 teams you played? Or is it going to be he's the next Ed Reed because you held them all to 24 or less or something like that?
What's up, Clot? Salute to you. Appreciate you coming through. That is a good question. If they're giving up a lot of points, which, let's be real, they could. We don't. The question mark is Zach Orr, right? Mm-hmm. Zach Orr, we got to see. He's a young coach. That was his first time being a defensive coordinator. He needed to make some adjustments. He was learning on the job, and they got Chuck Pagano here to help him this year. They had Dean Pease helping them last year. So he may not have everything figured out yet, so there might still be some growing pains. And I also think that's part of the reason why uh, uh, Marcus Williams fell off. I don't think Marcus Williams is a bad player. I think there's some struggle adjusting to Zach Orr's scheme. There's some breakdown in communication. Yeah, I'm sure he did. He might have had a bad attitude towards it, so they had to move on from him. But we got a young safety. Can Zach Orr mold him and make him the type of player that we need him to be here? That remains to be seen. There could be some struggles early on with the defense, and if there is, I am curious to see how people react to it, because y'all be so gung ho in the beginning, and when guys that need some development or need some time to adjust show it, y'all ain't with it. No. What else we got here? Can't sleep on the Rams either. Facts. They could have easily been in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. The Rams are a very talented and very well coached team.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we're talking about the schedule. We open up with the Bills. I'm not sure if did they say if it's at home or on the road?
That I'm not sure, but I mean that would be out there, but I didn't see it.
Now, see, Magic Bolt, we're on the same page. He says, I want a wide receiver better than Zay and Zay to be number 2, but I know if they lose him, they won't adequately replace him. That's a fact. We won't get better than Zay, to be honest. They're not going to pay for a wide receiver, and they're not going to draft high enough to get a wide receiver.
Hold on. Because I've heard from many reliable sources that you already have a wide receiver better than Zay Flowers, and his name is Rashad Bateman, and he may be on the move to Carolina.
Ooh.
That's just what I heard.
This is a story from Sports Illustrated. Now, they didn't say that like this is something that's in the works, but they're kind of speculating that yes, Rashad Bateman, Ravens were getting feelers out on him. They were talking to Dallas at one point, and they said, "Hey, a candidate that you need to look out for is the Panthers." Yeah, now yes, they have some young wide receivers. They got Tedero McMillan in the draft this year. They got Xavier Legette in the draft last year. They got Jimmy Horton Jr. We're going to talk about him in a minute. But Adam Thielen is their go-to guy as of right now, and he's a little he's getting up there.
Listen.
He's halfway to 90. Okay.
Adam is fine where he is. I know that a lot of Ravens fans have been looking for that. Oh, we got another donation here from Major Bull. Says appreciate the show, and I missed the last part of it, but let me
appreciate it, man. Thank you for the donations.
Thank you very much.
And if you want to be awesome, go ahead.
Oh, he says appreciate the show. Best Ravens content easy. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But they I know a lot of Ravens fans have been looking for that big body wide receiver. And let me tell you about a raccoon grilling man named Xavier Legette. Okay,
you didn't give up on him already?
I mean, is 6'4" and solid as they come. All right, and he's fast. And he plays strong. That's the thing. Because some guys like Sonny, like our friend from SCG Sports would say, "Why you big for? You don't play big." Xavier plays big. Okay, he plays to his strengths. Now he had some issues with drops. So I'm not going to lie to you. Okay? I'm not here trying to sell you a lemon, or I'm not going to try to hide the faults here. But he had some issues with the drops. But look, that didn't happen to him in college. Okay, so I think it was a mental thing. That rookie year, he's trying too hard. He's trying to squeeze the ball too hard and it just shoots out.
Well, hold on.
He's gonna get over that.
Hold on. Are you trying to propose Xavier Legette for Rashad Bateman? Is that what you're trying to propose?
Okay, well, I mean, if you want to just jump to the end, I know how you like to read the end of the book first. Yes, Xavier Legette for Rashad Bateman, done deal. All right.
You would give up on Xavier Legette after 1 year? Like,
see, when you put it that way, you're trying to paint me as the bad guy, and I see what you're doing, but no, that's not what I said. I did not say I'm giving up on Xavier Legette, sir. I said
because I'm saying
if on the table was a deal that said Xavier Legette for Rashad Bateman, then I would take the deal. I didn't say I would give up on Xavier Legette. That's not what came out of my mouth. You're not going to paint me as a bad guy over here.
So you think Rashad Bateman has a higher ceiling than Legette?
I think Rashad Bateman has a higher floor than Legette. So and the ceiling, the ceiling is on the other side, and his name is Teteroa McMillan. So I'm not worried about it.
So look, for Ravens, I wouldn't like that deal. But for you, like, we're in two different places. It doesn't hurt you to just wait and see with him, right? Because you got Teteroa McMillan there. You know what I mean?
You see what I'm talking about? You see what lies you're spreading here? He's talking about he only been in the league 1 year. You're not giving him 3 years. You're quick to give up on people. I didn't give up on him, Brandon. I said if you called and you offered Rashad Bateman for Xavier Legette, I would say yes. That's what I said. Hey, let me ask you something, Brandon. If Minnesota called and they offered you Justin Jefferson for Malachi Starks, would you give up on Malachi Starks today? I bet you would.
Listen, he'd be on the next thing smoking. Okay. Sanusi King, you're up. Higher floor is nasty work.
Just absolutely ridiculous. All right. Y'all can't be painting me in that light. All right. That's not what I said.
But they were Sports Illustrated was basically saying they're a team that you could look out for if the Ravens are looking to give up or to trade Rashad Bateman because Adam Thielen is older. You know, he's going to play one more year. That's it, more than likely. And Legette may blow up this year, or he may not. But you know, you're getting something solid with Rashad Bateman.
Yeah,
you know. So, but like, I wouldn't like that for the Ravens. At this point, you didn't make any moves on offense. Why would you trade him? You know,
because they hate Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I hate how they get so much praise for putting together this great team. They did not put together a great team, man.
No.
You compare it to, take quarterback out of it. Compare it to the Browns.
Okay, this is just a straight up lie, Brandon. No, you will not. Stop! Don't come in here.
You will not what?
I asked if you would trade Malachi Starks for Justin Jefferson. Either you're lying or you are the worst GM in the history of professional sports.
Brandon, I mean, come on, man. Come on. I would give up Malachi Starks. I would say take who you want on defense, offense. Just, you can't have Lamar, and you just tell put together a couple of guys and picks, because I'll tell you what, you are right. We could not give up Malachi Starks for Justin Jefferson. We need a whole lot more, than just Malachi Starks. That's not even a question.
Jay saying the worst GM ever belongs to Nico. No, it's still Kobe's friend. It's still Kobe's friend, Jay.
We're gonna talk about that later on in the show as well. But yes, the Jaguars is your opener. How you feel about that matchup for the Panthers?
Well, like I mentioned to you right before the stream, when the Carolina Panthers play the Jacksonville Jaguars in the opener, something incredible happens. If you don't know, the Panthers and the Jaguars both came into the league in the same year. Jacksonville obviously landed in the AFC, Carolina in the NFC. Jacksonville had a good amount of success early.
They did.
Where they had Mark Brunell, they made it to a couple conference championship games. And they were a very fun team. Then things went south for a bit. Carolina, they had some early success as well. They had that clown Bill Polian as their GM before he lost his mind. They drafted the racist Kerry Collins, but aside from that, they put together a respectable team early on. But the Jaguars have never been to the Super Bowl. Right.
That's right.
The Carolina Panthers have been to the Super Bowl twice. And both times they went to the Super Bowl, their first opponent was, in fact, the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, Bryce Young season, here we come. All right, they taken the NFC South, and then they're gonna catch fire. They're gonna win 3 games in a row, get to that Super. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. They're gonna win 2 games in a row and get to the Super Bowl because they're gonna get that bye. They're gonna get that first round bye. And listen, I promise you, when we're standing on that field, I don't remember where the Super Bowl is this year, but when the Panthers are standing on that field, they will not be looking across at the Baltimore Ravens.
Look, I need to go back for a second because Brandon, first of all, says I'm not giving up on Voorhees like everyone else is. You don't get any extra points for that. Voorhees is not going to come knocking on your door and say, "Hey, I couldn't have done it without you. Everybody doubted me except you, Brandon. Thank you." Okay, that's cool. If you think he can be good, look, we don't know for sure. Like we don't know.
No, but the whole point with Voorhees and Falalele is not that they can never be good players. It's that they're not good right now.
Yes.
And you're in your Super Bowl window right now. You don't go and say, you know what? I'm going to put out some unknowns on the O-line in the middle of our supposed title run and just see how it goes.
Right. Like, why are you giving up on Sanusi Kane and Bo Braid? You know, like, I mean, like why you giving up on those guys? Why are you guys giving up on Owe and Ojabo and Adisa Isaac? All right, everybody, why are you guys so pumped about Mike Green when we have guys on the team? Why are you giving up on him already? I didn't hear anybody say Adisa Isaac was a bad pick. In fact, and this is and we're not going to. This is not going to be a debate. Just Al says I would trade Kyle Hamilton for Justin Jefferson without even blinking.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't, just Al, because they would not take Kyle Hamilton for Justin Jefferson.
No, but in what he was talking about is in a scenario where Nico gets control of the Minnesota Vikings and he calls you up and only you, and he says, "I will give you Justin Jefferson for Kyle Hamilton." You say yes immediately.
If they said, "Hey, listen, guys, I know this is a big ask, but we're kind of gonna need both of your safeties." Done. I mean, there isn't a package they can ask for that, as long as they're not including Lamar, that I wouldn't say, yeah, go ahead, send them over. For Justin Jefferson,
right?
Absolutely. And you know, me and B always tell you guys, you gotta go out, you gotta go watch other football games other than just your team. This is not exclusive to the Ravens. It's not exclusive to the Panthers fans. You know, it feels that way because we're in our bubble. But every fan base does this. They overvalue players on their team instead of going out there and looking at how other teams look, right? Other players look. Voorhees ain't worth the debate right now, right? Like, he could go out there. He has the opportunity. Like, we don't have to fight over this. He is going to start, right? We're giving our opinion. We don't think he's going to be particularly good, but he can easily go out there and prove us wrong. Mm-hmm. When he doesn't, right? I'm just waiting for you guys to say, man, EDC is not getting it right, because we've been saying this for about 5 years now, 4 or 5 years, that he's making bad choices, and every year it's like you guys just hit the reset button and just forget about what he did previously. Why are we still working on the O-line today?
Oh, he says, I didn't give up on those guys. Y'all gave up on them. I didn't give up on Owe and Adisa Isaac. I said that edge rusher is not a need in Baltimore. Y'all are the ones who loved the Mike Green pick and ran out there and got him.
We said edge rusher and safety weren't a need. We said you just drafted Bo Braid or you just drafted Sanusi Kane and picked up Bo Braid, and those are young development guys. And you have Ardarius Washington. Yeah. We said you just drafted Adisa Isaac last year in the 3rd round. You spent the 1st round pick on Owe. You spent the 2nd round pick on Ojabo. You spent the 4th round pick on Tavius Robinson. We said you absolutely don't need an edge rusher. That's what we said. You guys, yeah. Well, whatever. Go get Mike Green. Go get Malachi Starks. That's what y'all said.
Yeah.
So if you didn't give up on those guys, that's why I got you, Brandon. If you didn't give up on those guys, did Eric DaCosta make some bad picks? Right? If you think those guys are going to be good, talking about the safeties, talking about our edge rushers, do you think those were bad picks? Do you think we wasted our picks getting Malachi Starks and Mike Green when we have guys that can play on the team already? Also, I want to know and this is not just for Brandon. We're not picking on Brandon. This is for everybody. When's the last time? Like what bad picks do you think EDC has made? Because every year it's great picks. Oh, great draft. Oh man, we killed the draft again. When is there ever a time where you look at his picks and be like, I don't like it? Right? You don't have to like everything that the organization does. You can be it's okay to be wrong. If you're wrong about a player, that's good. Right? If you didn't think he was going to be good and he turns out to be really good, that's good for your team. Be happy about that. But it's okay not to like it in the moment. You don't have to just go along with everything they do. If you don't agree with it, don't agree with it. But you can't. But just cheer every move and say, "Oh yeah, great pick. Oh, smart move." Nah, man. Nah. Use your own brain. All right. AD's in the house. Let's bring him up.
What's going on?
Yo, what it is? How y'all feeling?
Doing all right, man. How you doing?
Good, man.
Good. All right. So, Owe and Ojabo were bad picks. Okay. Yeah. Yes. No arguments there. Felipe says Mike Green will be the next Terrell Suggs. Stop hating Jose. So how am I hating? I'm asking a question. Brandon said that he's not giving up on our edge rushers. Are you giving up on the edge rushers? Are you hating Felipe? Are you hating on Owe, Ojabo, Adisa Isaac, and Tavius Robinson? Are you hating on those guys? We spent a lot of picks on edge rusher. Are you saying we wasted our picks? You guys can't have it both ways. You know that, right? You can't sit there and say, "Oh, we nailed it with another safety pick." Right? We nailed it there. This is the next Ed Reed. This is the next Terrell Suggs here. This is it. So what about these other picks that we spent like 7 draft picks on these positions? Did we get it right or not? Okay? You can't have it both ways. He said, yeah, they suck. Okay, so we wasted picks. So we wasted 4 picks on edge rusher. We wasted a first round pick at safety, Kyle Hamilton. We wasted what round was it for Sanusi Kane? 6th round,
6th or 7th for Sanusi.
Ardarius Washington was a late pick. We wasted those.
I think Ardarius was undrafted, I believe, wasn't he?
He was undrafted.
I think so.
Okay, all right. So just those 2. Oh yeah. We don't have that many draft picks at safety. So we wasted those picks. All right. So that's at least 6 draft picks that we wasted on defense just on those 2 positions. But EDC's cooking. I know you're hating on them, Jay. You hate on everybody. Adrian, man, what do you think about the Derrick Henry signing?
So, at Derrick Henry's age, 2 years, $30 million seems like a lot of money. I think he got the 3rd most money. So only McCaffrey and Saquon have higher salaries right now. But, Ashton Jeanty getting so much money, I feel like put the Ravens in a bind where they had to show that appreciation or felt the need. I know it was something that they talked about going into the offseason, that they were going to make sure he was good. However, I just want to make sure that they extend Lamar as soon as possible. That cap hit for next year, I think it's something crazy, like $70 million. Like, obviously, that's not going to be a thing. And Lindenbaum and Hamilton need extensions as well. I think that they're the young foundation of the team. But Derrick Henry had, 1,900 yards last year, 16 rushing touchdowns, was phenomenal, even though we did not feed him the ball enough in that Buffalo game and pretty much every other loss that we had this season. So I'm hoping that he can repeat that performance, but we're going to need to be able to spell him more this season. I need Keaton Mitchell, and we need Keaton Mitchell to step up this year. And, obviously we got a lot of production from what's my man, backup running back that we had.
Justice Hill?
Yeah, Justice Hill had a phenomenal season last year. I need to see him play the way that he played last year as well. But I want us to get like a big body backup running back, somebody that can kind of be in that Derrick Henry mode, because I feel like that's when we're at our best, when we have a physical rushing attack. But shout out to Derrick Henry. He's a legend, one of the greatest of all time, and nobody could have expected him to have the season that he had last year. I'm just hoping that he can be 90% of what he was last season.
So here's a question for you in the chat, right? Derrick Henry, obviously, he might play 2 more years and then probably call it a career, right? We want do we want our replacement for Derrick Henry to play like Derrick Henry? Like, do we want do we really want that? Not, oh, it'd be nice. Like, do we say, hey, we gotta go and get somebody that's going to be the man at running back, right? That's one. And if the answer is yes, what are you willing to do to get that running back? Right? I said this year, first round pick. I wouldn't be mad at Omarion Hampton. That's first round. Second round, definitely. Hampton, Judkins, Henderson, one of these guys that's projected to be the main ball carrier that has those playmaking abilities. If you want a guy to play like Derrick Henry, you have to draft them high, or you got to spend money on them.
Yeah, but those are two things that we don't do, Jose. The last high running back pick was Dobbins, and he got up to a great start, got injured, and he never really established himself as the guy here, in my opinion, at least. And he did pretty well in Los Angeles last year. Did well out there, but he even got hurt at the end of that season. So the Ravens never really prioritized drafting running backs early, and then we don't pay running backs either. I mean, Derrick Henry got pretty much twice the money that he got on this new deal as opposed to the one that he signed in the offseason. And some of that was because it wasn't a great market for him last year. Everybody thought Dallas was going to step up and pay him, and for whatever reason, I have no idea, I heard that they didn't even reach out to DH to see if he was interested in coming there. He wanted to go there. He's from the area in Texas, but that never happened. So somebody in the mold of Derrick Henry, I would love to see it. And our best chance is to find some undrafted guy or somebody on the street that just turns up and becomes that guy, because I don't really see us prioritizing it by picking somebody early enough.
Yeah, that's poor planning, right? Like, yes, we can hope for that. We hope anybody that signs can blow up. Shay says, "Boo, get that guy Andrew off screen."
Ain't nobody named Andrew up here though. So
yeah,
right.
Tell him to get a quarterback first.
Oh, what's up, Danity? Danity's here, ladies and gentlemen. She says 47 people in the chat. Hit the like and subscribe button. Cash App, $ LBHT Show. Newsletter, LBHTShow.com. Facts. Thank you, Danity. Yes, go to LBHTShow.com and sign up for the newsletter. Put your email address in there. Put your burner email address in there. Put your third email address in there.
You got kids? Put their email address in there.
Put the email address in there. All right?
You married? Put the email address in there.
Put the email address in there. Just do it. Don't even think about it. Just go over there and do it. It takes 2 seconds. All right? Circling back to the Panthers. I think this is a good opener for the Panthers.
Yeah.
This is a very winnable game. The Jaguars, man, they just
and listen, people are kind of selling it as the Teteroa versus McMillan rematch with Travis Hunter. Look, first of all, Teteroa worked him in that game. Second of all, I think Travis is a little overrated as a corner. Not that he's not good, but I think he's a much better player as a wide receiver, and he can affect the game much more. I would prefer, if I were a Jaguars fan, I would want to see him on offense opposite of Brian Thomas. But yeah, no, I mean, it'll certainly be fun to see them going at each other again. You know, they're gonna wipe the floor with Jacksonville. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, like whatever. But you know what else is really nice about this? And it's actually a really nice story. Is the Etienne brothers getting to play against each other for Trevor's first NFL game? So that'll be very nice for them. That's a special moment.
I think Travis Hunter is. I'm not. He's going to be good, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we think so, but it's going to take a little time for him to make the type of impact people think he's going to make. You know what I mean?
Not if they throw him the ball on offense, man. You put him at wide receiver and get the ball in his hands, and he is going to make an impact. But I think wanting him to be both things in the NFL.
That's what I'm talking about. I don't think yes. If they say yes, that's what I mean, right? Like yes, if they're like, hey, you're gonna play wide receiver, we'll throw you a little bit on defense. Then yes, he can be very impactful on there. But if they're doing a thing where we're trying to figure out what you're gonna be, you know, then it kind of diminishes his impact on the game because he's trying to figure out both sides. And even though he says he can play high stats at both sides, that's not realistic in the NFL, right? I think wide receiver. If you have a wide receiver and you have him play on some, a couple of nickel packages on defense, that's fine, But don't split. Don't try to split it down the middle. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, we've seen guys before, Charles Woodson, Champ Bailey, Deion Sanders, and most of those guys had a primary position in the NFL. They might have been, both sides of the ball in college, but the NFL is a completely different level. And, I expect him, Travis Hunter, to be more of a wide receiver in the league. I think he could play corner, but like B said, he's probably better as a wide receiver, and it's a more valuable position. You see what they pay. Wide receiver salaries have gone through the roof over the last couple of years, and it's because it's one of the most primary positions on offense at this point.
Yeah. Says he's hoping to see Travis get defensive and offensive rookie of the year, and I would love to see that too. I'm a big fan of Travis Hunter, big fan. And he seems like a great kid too. I just don't. I think it's better for him and Jacksonville long term if he focuses on one position. I think that position should be wide receiver.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, okay. Sure. I should have known that it was a monetary thing, not you just trying to be happy for somebody. My apologies. I don't have any Travis Hunter cards. I would just be very happy for Travis Hunter to be that successful.
Yeah, like what would they have to pay him if he was all pro in both?
They're gonna pay him like a wide receiver and say shut your mouth.
Oh, I wanted to bring this up too because he's in the thumbnail. Jimmy Horn Jr.
Yes,
there are reports out there that he is really turning heads, right, in practice at the mini camps. What are you hearing over there, B?
Yeah, no, I'm hearing the same thing. They say he's looking great. I watched him a good bit at Colorado, and the problem there is they couldn't block anybody. So it seemed like every play was kind of the schoolyard thing.
Yeah,
But it did show that he's able to make himself available for his quarterback when when he's under duress. That's not a problem in Carolina. We took care of that. But he's just lightning quick. And did nothing but make big plays in college. So I was pretty excited. I wanted them to draft him. I'm pretty excited that he's in Carolina. We'll see what he's able to do, but I'm rooting for Jimmy.
Yeah, Agent, what'd you think?
I love Jimmy Horn Jr.'s game. I liked all of the skill position players out in Colorado, but like B said, their offensive line was atrocious. They couldn't run the football, and they couldn't protect either. So. I think Jimmy Horn Jr. has a shot in Carolina, and Leggett needs to step up this year. Like, he was a first-round pick last season, and they brought in a couple of rookies that might take his spot. He might be third or fourth on the depth chart by the time training camp's over if he doesn't show out in training camp this year. So it's good to bring in competition, and Bryce Young needs weapons, man. Like, he's starting to get some young guys that are on the same timetable as him that he can grow and develop with, and that's all you need, or that's all you want for your young quarterback. Is first to be able to protect him. And then secondly, you want to surround him with great skill players. And I think the Panthers are right on that trajectory where they could probably win 8 games, maybe even 9 games this year if things break right for them.
I think my earlier reckless prediction had him winning like 10 games. I think what Canales has done was build up a competitive environment there, because we know Tedero McMillan has that swag, right? He has that attitude, like, yeah, give me the ball, right? I'm always open. Like he has that, but from the looks of it, from what we're hearing, Jimmy Horn has that too. I mean, we saw that in college, obviously, right? Yeah. But he's brought that attitude to camp, and B&B say this, like, every year there are guys in the later rounds that end up rising to the top, right? You never know who it's going to be, but some players truly don't care where they get picked. They know they belong, and from the minute they get out there, they get a helmet and pads, it's game over. It's, hey, I'm taking somebody's job. I know that for a fact. We had that with Mark Andrews. He got drafted in the 3rd round, and he told Hayden Hurst, "You have no shot here." Right? Jimmy Horn might be out there looking to take somebody's job, right? So so that's good for Xavier Legette. Obviously, he has a talent. It lets him know, hey man, you got to step up because there's real competition here.
You know what? Carolina and the Commanders are in different divisions. DJ,
what did you just say?
He said Carolina 2 and Commanders 1 in that division.
Oh yeah, he meant the conference or the division? It's the same conference. Maybe he meant that.
You know what I love about AI, and sorry to kind of go off track here a little bit. AI can do incredible things, right? We use it to do the thumbnails. It can help you generating ideas for the shows. It can write scripts for you. It can answer any questions that you have. It can produce videos. Some AIs you can describe what a song that you want to hear, and it'll create a song for you right on the fly. And then sometimes you go on Google and you say, "Hey, who is Jimmy Horn Jr.'s father?" And it's like, Jimmy Horn Jr.'s father is Joe Horn, who was a wide receiver in the NFL and a 4-time Pro Bowler. J.C. Horn, who plays cornerback for the Panthers, is also Joe Horn's son and Jimmy's brother. That's not true. Jimmy Horn Jr.'s father is Jimmy Horn Sr. not an NFL player. And it's like, I don't understand. Like, how you get such simple things so wrong. It's like you're not trying. It's like AI has already inherited the work ethic of an American. It's not great.
Jimmy Horn Sr. played a significant role raising Jimmy Jr. as a single parent. Jimmy Horn Sr. was incarcerated in 2021 on drug-related charges. He didn't play in the league or nothing like that.
No.
Joe Horn.
Hey man, good for Joe though, I guess.
Yeah. Proud father.
It's ridiculous.
But no, I like what they're doing over there. Dave Canales has a clear vision for the team, obviously, right? And they're being real aggressive and building the type of team that he wants there. And I think it's going to pay dividends. I think the Panthers are going to be a good team this year. Now, running back, look, they paid Chuba Hubbard a lot of money. I just felt like that's something they could have avoided.
They could have, but it's fine. It's fine. Chuba played very well last year, and he deserved to get paid. They brought in Rico Dowdle. They drafted Trevor Etienne because Jonathan Brooks, their 2nd round pick from last year, was placed on PUP. And so he is going to miss the entire season after tearing his ACL for the 2nd time. Hopefully that's a Frank Gore type story, and he comes back, even stronger and is stealing other people's jobs for the next 30 years. But yeah, they had to kind of not necessarily move on, but they had to fill out that depth chart, for the upcoming season since he's not going to be there. They brought back Raheem Blackshear. So they've got a great running back room, right? And they've got a it's a very, very solid O line, and I think that's what you're going to see the majority of the time is that I'm trying to grind teams down like that with Chuba and Rico and even Trevor getting in there. But at least until Tetaroa gets acclimated and they see what they've got in Xavier Legette and Jalen Coker and Jimmy Horn, or I guess Joe Horn Jr.
Here's why I want to happen. I hope Jimmy Horn Jr., LaJohntay Wester, Shedeur Sanders, Shiloh, I hope they all turn out to be good players. So we can come on here and say, is the league hating on Deion Sanders?
I'll tell you absolutely not, because Travis Hunter went.
Yeah, say it for the video. Say it for the video. Say it for the video. Say it for the video.
And that team was trash.
Say it for the video. Say it for the video. Okay.
Hey, they won 9 games in the Big 12 last season, man.
Big 12 was the worst.
I do want them all to blow up, and I do want those questions to be out there so we can we have some fun. We got some fun with it.
Now, I actually saw this report earlier, and this applies to your team, B. There is a report from Sports Illustrated saying that supposedly Rashad Bateman may be on the move to Carolina.
That's right.
Now, what would you think of that?
We talked about that earlier. Y'all can have Xavier.
Oh man, I missed it.
Y'all can have Xavier Legette, and we'll take Rashad. And listen, Rashad will thrive with Bryce Young, and Xavier will also thrive with Lamar Jackson. He's going to get himself over that mental hurdle of the drops that he had last season, and it's going to be fantastic for Lamar.
What? That's the type of trade that wouldn't even surprise me, because they'll look at it and say, well, we got 4 years left on his rookie deal.
Yeah, but they extended Rashad for nothing, so I don't think they're going to.
It wasn't a long extension though. I think it was like 2 years, right?
I thought it was 3, but I can't remember.
Me neither. What's up, House?
What's going on, House? I don't know, House, but ask Sports Illustrated.
Well, they were speculating, right? They weren't saying for sure, and they're speculating because the Ravens shopped Bateman around. They're talking to the Cowboys about it, right? So there was some.
I've always liked Rashad Bateman. I wanted them to draft Rashad Bateman. I've just said that Bateman. I've said that he hasn't lived up to that first round draft pick, and that remains true. I'm not changing my opinion on that. He hasn't, but that doesn't mean he's not a talented guy. He had a good season last year. I expect more from him this year.
So it was a 2-year extension, and it was $15.25 million over 3 total seasons. So $5 million per year, pretty much. Okay. Not a crazy number.
What I would say to Rashad is believe in yourself. More than that. Because you could be the worst receiver in the league and hit the open market and you'll get paid more than $5 million a year.
Certain positions, man, attitude matters to me, right? Like attitude matters. And I don't know, man. A wide receiver that's just like, okay, I'll take it. If it's a 1-year deal and he's like, all right, I'm gonna prove myself, that's one thing. But 2 years, if he just said, hell no, I'm worth more than that, then I'd feel a little bit better about him. I want my wide receivers to be divas. I want them to be mad when they don't get the ball in their hands. I want, you know what I'm saying? I want guys that want to go out there and make plays.
I mean, he's giving off the emo vibe, but he's still a talented player.
Yes.
So, I mean, he scored 9 touchdowns, I believe it was.
He had a good year.
Last year. So, yeah, he's a very young guy. I wouldn't, I mean, look, the bright side for Baltimore is they got him on an extremely cheap deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Baltimore looks at certain personality types when they're filling out their wide receiver room. They don't want the diva or the look at me guy. I mean, I know they had Steve Smith at the end of his career, but they typically go and lean towards like that Derek Mason business as usual guy, or even Anquan Bolton was somebody that didn't do a whole lot of chirping or talking, just went out there and did his job. So that's more like the MO of the Ravens. They look for certain guys. This play like a Raven thing. It's not just like a on the field mantra. I think it's also a mentality that they look for as well.
So I'm gonna tell you a little secret, Adrian. Every team has the same character type, right? They have the same same type of character that they want to build their team around. But the smart teams look past the things that they don't like for talent, right? Everybody wants a player just to go out there and play, bring their lunch pail, punch the clock and
that Wayne Corbett, Danny Woodhead style.
Give 110%, right? But if you can run a 4.340, you can run the whole route tree, right? Catch the ball one hand. I can look past. I can look past a lot of things. Okay,
you're absolutely right. It's like I won't say every, but a lot of front offices and coaches, they feel like, man, if you're going to play tackle in this league, you got to have at least 34-inch arms. You got to have long arms. But like you said, the people who are really good at their job will say, you know what? He might have come in at 33 and a quarter, but dude can block, so we're going to take him.
Yeah.
And the teams that don't typically get it done are the ones that are like, man, I really liked his film, and he's got a great attitude and really high IQ. Really wish he had 34-inch arms though. Take him off the board.
Right. So talent matters. Okay. The Ravens formula, with that Ravens way, trash that. Mm-hmm. Okay. Throw that in trash, and they did it a little bit in the second round when they saw Mike Green there. They're like, look,
all that stuff. All that stuff is nonsense. It's all PR. It's all marketing. How's the Patriot way doing right now? Not great. Turns out the Patriot way don't mean a whole lot without talent, right?
That's what we're going to talk about overtime show.
Playing like a Raven don't mean a whole lot if you ain't Ed Reed and Ray Lewis, does it?
That's what I want to talk about in the overtime show. Bill Belichick.
I don't want to talk about Bill Belichick, man.
I want to talk about Bill Belichick. We're going to talk about it in the overtime show.
Bill getting his groove back.
Bill has lost his mind. I don't think Bill knows where he's at right now.
Bill knows exactly where he's at.
That woman probably in the will right now, for real.
Yes. But
she getting to that money.
Patreon.com/LBHT Show. We're going to be talking about that. And GTA 6, ladies and gentlemen. All right. It's been postponed for another year, but we're going to talk about it. I watched a lot of Grand Theft Auto videos on YouTube. Took me down that rabbit hole. We're going to discuss some things. Yes, we're going to talk some Bill Belichick and anything else you want to discuss. All right. That'll be on the overtime show. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. For as little as $5 a month, you can be a member. You get access to the overtime show. You get access to our Discord channel. And once you're in there, you're in there. Whether you stay a member or not, we don't kick anybody out unless you do something to get kicked out. All right. So well worth the price of admission. We got multiple tiers, $5, $10, $20, even a $60 tier. All right. Every tier gives you a different.
Don't let those tiers kind of reign in your imagination. You can put any number in there you want.
Yes, you can. All right. So go check it out. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to sign up for our newsletter at LBHTShow.com. All right. Court of public opinion next, B?
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, this may not be a real court, but it is the court that you need. Court of public opinion starts right now. All rise. All rise. Court is now in session. All right, B. There was a NBA lottery, draft lottery the other day. Okay. Now, Adrian here, who is a sports conspiracy theorist, okay, always talks about how the NFL is rigged. And I tell him all the time, man, you're wrong. It's not rigged. And he's still wrong because the NFL is not rigged. The NBA is. The NBA is rigged. Okay, so what happened, B? The Dallas Mavericks. No, you go ahead. You go ahead and take it. What did the Mavericks do?
Okay, so what happened is the Dallas Mavericks won the lottery. Now, if you want to get into the conspiracy theory, we got to rewind it a bit because what happened is the Dallas Mavericks, they were gifted Luka Doncic by the clowns who run the Atlanta Hawks, who took Trae Young instead of Luka. Right. So they wanted Trae. That means Dallas got Luka. They got one of the best young players in the league. They built around him. He carried them to the finals, or to the finals last year.
Yep.
Didn't go their way in the finals. Obviously, Boston won, and some people feel like he was exposed. He didn't play great in the final. Now, I mean, he played very well in the finals, but Luka carries a little bit around the middle that he doesn't necessarily need to, and some people think that he gets gassed, right? And I say no, he manages his energy. That's why he doesn't play defense. But what happened is the Dallas Mavericks. And not the GM. We're not going to put this on the GM. The owner said we don't want to give Luka that supermax deal, the $350 million or whatever it was. So you need to trade him. And he called up the worst GM in the history of sports, Kobe's friend, and he said, "Hey, you want Luka?" And worst GM in the history of sports, Kobe's friend, said, "Sure. What do I have to give you?" And he was like, "Give me Anthony Davis." And then he said, "Okay." And now, look, I'm not complaining about the trade because obviously, the Lakers win out on the trade. Anthony Davis is a better player than Luka, but Anthony Davis is 5 or 6 years older, and he's better where it doesn't really matter all that much. It matters, but the offense is more important, right? And Luka's an elite offensive player. And again, they reset their timeline with Luka. Looking back on it though, like what superstar gets traded for a superstar? You kind of got your ass kicked on that one, but that's okay. That's all right. Luka gets shipped to LA. Everybody hates this GM in Dallas. Anthony Davis goes out there, puts on a vintage Anthony Davis performance in his first game, just killing it on offense, grabbing all the rebounds, playing elite defense, and then immediately gets hurt. And they're like out indefinitely. They clawed their way into the play-in, did not advance to the playoffs, and then went to the NBA draft lottery where they had a 1.8% chance of getting the number one pick and ended up with the number one pick, which means they're getting Cooper Flagg out of Duke. And then, people like Adrian are screaming rigged.
Rigged.
I need to acknowledge this comment from Just Allo. It says Trey DeBarge is a darn good player also.
I like Trey, but he's not Luka. He's not.
No. Yeah, listen, it's obviously, you can call it a coincidence, but man, that is, great timing, to say the least, for the Mavericks, who I mean, clearly, like they lost their fan base. Like I know Mavericks fans that are just like, I'm not a fan anymore, right? Mm-hmm. Straight up, I'm picking another team. They're gone. That's an immediate impact to their bottom line, and to turn around and get the number one pick and get Cooper Flagg, you want to talk about just perfect timing and something that helps save their franchise. That's
it's I would not save their franchise. That is dramatic. They were a good team, and they were going to be a good team next year. They're going to be a playoff team.
And in terms of, I'm sorry, in term, it is dramatic, but in terms of ticket sales.
No. Ticket sales would have been absolutely fine. The fans are upset right now, and particularly upset because shiny new Anthony Davis got hurt and was out indefinitely immediately. That is a very good team that they have, even without Cooper Flagg. They got hit with not even just the Anthony Davis injury. They got hit. Derek Lively got hurt. Gafford's got hurt. They had a lot of guys get hurt down the stretch run, which kind of knocked them out of the playoffs.
Kyrie.
But you come back, that's a very, very solid team. I don't think it's a championship team, but it's a playoff team and a very good team, and they would have been just fine. But the NBA has had a lot of coincidences. Derrick Rose went to Chicago, LeBron went to Cleveland, Patrick Ewing went to New York. Cleveland got the number one pick two times after LeBron left. And it's like, but the thing is, when you talk about rigged, why? Why would you rig it for Dallas? For what?
I don't know.
Because this was part of the trade package.
No.
We trade you Luka Doncic. You get AD in the #1 pick in the 2025 NBA draft, and that's what they ended up getting. This was talked about before it even happened. Trust me.
No. What I'm saying is, why would you do that for the Dallas Mavericks?
Why not? They're giving up Luka.
Because they're the Dallas Mavericks. That's why.
Because Cooper Flag. I mean, maybe he. I don't think anybody projects him to be a superstar. Really good player. I don't think anybody projects him to be a superstar.
I do.
Luka Doncic is kind of a superstar, and you want him in LA playing with LeBron. And then after LeBron retires, you put Jokic there. Right?
Listen. Again, the thing is, and I know I'm gonna have to hear from Adrian once Giannis gets traded to LA too. But listen, Giannis has been in Milwaukee for a decade, right? They're not moving him out of Milwaukee, trying to get into a bigger market. Tim Duncan was in San Antonio. They didn't try to move him out anywhere to get into one of their marquee franchises. Like, yes, there have been a few coincidences, but that's because the lottery is a weighted lottery, right? And so, yeah, if you're a bad team, there's a good chance you're going to get that pick. But yeah, every now and then, something comes out of left field. But it's not rigged. It's just a ping pong ball that happened to come up Dallas, and it's a fun topic. But they're gonna go out there. They got AD. They're gonna have Cooper. They're gonna have Kyrie, and they're gonna get to the playoffs. And then Kyrie's gonna stab him in the back like he always does, and LA gonna cruise right through with Giannis and Luka and LeBron.
Look, another thing that they're not talking about, nobody is talking about this, and this is going to be the bigger thing down the stretch when people realize what actually happened. The Spurs got the #2 pick, ladies and gentlemen. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm looking at a mock draft because I'm not gonna pretend like I know all these guys, but this is supposedly a much better class than last year.
You got Ace Bailey there.
Ace Bailey.
Oh wow! Those two guys who went to Rutgers and couldn't get them to the tournament.
They dropped 19 a game.
And what did they do in the tournament? What did they do in the tournament?
I don't think they made the NIT. Did they?
No, they didn't.
Let's just be real about it. The Spurs know how to spot talent.
That's why they're not going to draft one of them clowns out of Rutgers. All right,
whoever it is, whoever it is.
I can see the Spurs trading that pick for a veteran player to pair with. And maybe Giannis ends up in San Antonio. So
they're going to get it. They're going to get exactly who they want at #2 to go along and play with Wembanyama and play with who do they get there?
Stephen Castle, the Rookie of the Year, is out there as well.
No, who's the guy that just picked up from
you talking about De'Aaron Fox?
De'Aaron Fox, right? So, man, they're gonna be so good.
I see you saying this, House. He's saying that one of those teams is going to trade the pick for Giannis. Not when Giannis tells them where he wants to play. Then they're going to trade him wherever he wants to go.
Brooklyn. I also want to point this out too. The Brooklyn Nets are also very good at drafting talent at very low picks. By the way,
yeah, they've got. Jared Allen was on the top team in the East this year. They got Mikal Bridges getting ready to go to the finals with the New York Knicks. I'm just saying they're good at acquiring and then letting go of talent.
Yeah, but these guys aren't superstars. But my point is they can find talent late. Nick Claxton's got a new contract. Mm-hmm. They know how to find talent. Them at #8, I think they can get a very good player there. So I feel good about that. And like B pointed out before the show, I even noticed the Nets have 4 first-round picks, so they may not stay at 8. Right?
Yeah, the Lakers don't have any first-round picks, but they've got something better than that. They've got Austin Reeves.
Yeah, you can keep that.
No, we're not gonna keep that. We're gonna package that up, send it over to Milwaukee for Giannis.
Pelinka says yes, he's staying.
Yeah, Giannis. I can't see Giannis in LA. I hope it doesn't happen.
That's rude.
How many players do you need to compete, man?
What are you talking about?
LeBron, he doesn't have a big man. He doesn't have enough help. He doesn't have a bench. Doesn't have a coach to know. You pick the coach. You pick the play.
I don't know what NBA you watch, but you need those things in today's league, man.
Man, Jordan ain't need none of that, man.
No, Jordan needed every
Give
single
him Steve
bit
Kerr. Give him
every,
Steve Kerr and John Paxson.
every single bit of that he needed. He didn't win a single thing until you put another top 50 all-time player next to him.
Can you say we're
the greatest and one of the greatest coaches of all time?
Scottie Pippen was
we're one horse ran away from winning the championship. Who said that?
and one of the greatest coaches of all time.
He was a nobody. He was like the 8th man on the next 73 championship team until he
he was the 8th man coaching, or
I'm talking about when he played on a team with
Bill
Bradley.
Did I say that Phil Jackson was like playing the 4 for them, or did I say he was one of the greatest coaches of all time?
Who did he coach before that?
He coached the Bulls first. Like, what do you mean? Who did he coach before that?
Who did he coach before he landed in Chicago?
Who cares?
He won nothing before he got Jordan.
And Jordan won nothing before he got Phil Jackson. Come on, man.
He was already MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year.
He won nothing before that.
No, he won. He turned around a moribund franchise.
All right,
he didn't turn around.
So we established rigged. Okay,
rigged.
That's
1,000%. 1.8%. Do you know how small of a chance that is of happening?
Yes,
for it to be a year they traded away a superstar that they didn't want to pay $350 million.
Dallas didn't seem worried at all. Didn't seem.
They weren't because they knew they had the number 1 pick in their back pocket.
Going back a little bit, because if my memory serves me correctly, the year that Cleveland got the number 1 pick, didn't they have a LeBron James jersey ready to go? At the lottery, didn't they hold up a James jersey?
He says that's not true. They had Doug Collins, and they win nothing. They had to have a greater coach.
Just Al remembers old things. Just Aloe. Did they have? Did what's the owner have a LeBron James jersey at the lottery? I think he did.
Who was the owner back then? Darren Gilbert.
Gilbert, yeah. I think he's still the owner, right? Or did he sell the team?
I think he sold it. I believe it.
I gotta go back and look. I could swore I remember seeing that. I remember thinking, did he know?
I'm 100% sure all of them had a LeBron James jersey ready to go. It's like how teams print up championship shirts and then they send them to Africa when they get their as bounced like the Baltimore Ravens every year. And so
it's not every year. We have 2 rings.
Super Bowl champion 2023, and you're like that.
Every ping pong ball said Dallas Mavericks at that lottery. Please believe everyone.
Did you see any of them?
No, I don't have to, man.
Okay.
I just
sources.
Saw them with your
sources.
Yeah, man. Sean gave me a call and told me what happened.
but again, hey, this is reason 2076 that the draft is stupid and they need to get rid of it, or the draft lottery is stupid and they need to get rid of it.
I mean, but everybody
no, you're right. Draft is stupid.
But yes,
we're gonna do a video, a deep dive into that, ladies and gentlemen. You've been conditioned to think that the draft is needed and it benefits sports. It does not. We need to do away with this archaic system. There should not be a draft in sports. Okay,
coddling incompetence.
It should be highest bidder gets that guy.
That's exactly what it should be.
Just spend that money, man.
Not even necessarily the highest bidder, because that's not always the way it goes. Yeah,
but where they want to go, they can pick their team.
Yeah, that's how it is in the Premier, in soccer in general. But like the Premier League, you go and you recruit guys. They recruit players when they're very, very young. I mean, they're talking like 12, 13 years old, and they get them into their youth academies. They train them up. They set them out they loan them to other teams, and then they bring them up when they're ready to play. Right? You have to go out and find talent. You don't get to just suck for 17 or 18 weeks and then have everybody on the internet tell you, "Hey, you should draft Cam Ward."
Well, you know the system. The system dates back to slavery. That's what it is.
I don't
think the league was around during that time.
No, I'm saying that's where they got the emphasis, or that's where they get the idea of.
That's
no.
You
don't think it's true?
Very bad. That's a very bad.
No.
Because the league actually owned the team that traded Chris Paul. That's why they did that.
Yeah, that's right. No, it's not true.
They call them owners. They call them owners, and they have the rights
draft?
to.
Did they have a draft for slaveries, or did they have an auction for slaves?
Ain't that a draft?
No.
They say I got the rights to the slave over here. Look at him.
No,
He's 6'5".
No, they bid.
What you're referring to is the Key and Peele skit.
But no, there shouldn't be a draft. It should be recruiting, right? Have national recruiting days just like you do in college. That'd be way more entertaining, and then you'll really see which teams are serious about winning.
Yeah, and listen, I know y'all are gonna think I'm just hating, but my God, how fast the Ravens would fall to the bottom of the league. They just couldn't. If they had to convince players to come and play there, and John Harbaugh is in every meeting, like, I don't know, man, you like special teams?
No, but that's not true either. Because what happened is, this front office will get exposed. They be fired.
Yeah,
and it'll be a new front office.
I'm partially joking, but yeah.
Lamar Jackson saved a lot of jobs. We would not be talking about EDC right now if they didn't resign Lamar Jackson.
No, not at all.
We would not be talking about damn sure when we talking about John Harbaugh. If he just waited one more week,
man.
If he'd waited one more week to start Lamar.
What do we say? Self-preservation is his number one skill.
I can't wait till he get fired. It's gonna be a joyous day.
You guys need to check out that. It was Marlon Humphrey on his podcast. He had RG3 on there, and they talked about that. They thought he was cooked.
He was.
They were saying like, yeah, everybody like, he would like Harbaugh was talking kind of crazy, like like he knew he wasn't gonna be coaching there much longer, and everybody's kind of like, is it gonna be this week or next week? Like they thought he was done.
Yeah,
and they started Lamar.
Unfortunate, man.
All right, let's do a quick NBA recap. Do we have any questions? Submitted questions?
I do not believe so. Let me check here. But I mean, we can do the NBA real quick. I just want yes or no from both of you. Are the New York Knicks about to win the title?
No. I can't because OTR Brandon will not let me hear the end of it. Me and OTR Brandon go at it because I'm a Nets fan. He's a Knicks fan. And ever since the Nets took KD and Kyrie from him, when everybody, including Screaming A. Smith, swore up and down that they were going to the Knicks, when the Nets went in there and swooped them up, OTR Brandon swore that the Knicks would win a championship before the Nets. And they have an opportunity here, but no, I don't. I mean, taking all that out of it, no, I don't think they win.
I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say yes, but I don't believe it. Dolan still owns the team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, they're not.
You ain't see him pull over and give that basketball to that black kid?
Man, I don't pay no attention to Dolan, man. But I mean, I love what they're doing right now. I love Jalen Brunson, man. And Josh Hart, another guy like Mikal Bridges. They got a lot of dogs on the team. Anunoby, I really love what they're doing. But I see them losing to the Thunder in the finals. They can't let Indiana get to the finals. And Boston's cooked, man. Without Jason Tatum, I can't see them coming back from this 3-1 deficit right now.
Yeah, I don't know why they can't just swap out the Achilles and that robot, but I mean it's
he's only 19 years old.
Yeah. But I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna say yes. The New York Knicks are about to win. They are about to be NBA champions in the year of our Lord 2025.
Who are they gonna beat? The Thunder?
They are going to beat the Denver Nuggets.
The Nuggets.
Yes, sir.
So Nuggets coming back from 3-2 deficit.
Yes, sir.
I think whoever comes out the West is going to win it, but I think this will be a good finals to watch.
Minnesota.
Also, Tom Thibodeau can't win. Their knees will be shot by the time they get to the finals.
That is a great counterpoint that I had not considered prior to making my pick. Also, the Knicks are in fact getting the brakes beaten off of them right now. They are down. They are down 19
as scheduled. That's how they win their games.
This happened last week, right? And then they came back and won.
It happened every game except the one they lost. You know.
Oh yeah, they just got blown out in that one.
What if they lost to the Celtics without Jason Tatum?
That would be the end of the New York Knicks.
Them getting fired, definitely.
We gotta have some conversations about Jason Tatum.
His importance to the team. Because they come back with 3-1 and he's supposedly the best player, you know.
And you know what? We gotta we gotta stop talking about this because we did this last week. We sat here and we looked at the score. The Knicks were down 20. We laughed like, oh, they're not winning this one. Ha 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 ha. And then they won the game. Right? We gotta stop jinxing these teams. All right. I'm not making any comments about anybody. All right. Just play the games and we'll react to the games. Because when we make predictions in basketball, man, we get them wrong. Okay.
How about Derek White with 32 points? He's stepping up.
That's right. Yeah, because everybody's allowed to shine when Jason ain't
there. Maybe.
Yeah, Jason will shoot like 12 threes every night.
I mean, look, there's still a very talented team without Jason Tatum.
Yeah, they are. It's time to go, though.
All right, so no questions? No so many questions? All right. AD, let the people know where they can find you.
Find me at PressStart410 on YouTube, PStart410. And I have a couple new videos out, so check me out.
All right. Make sure you check it out. Listen, if you're not signed up to our patreon.com/LBHT Show, that is where you can find us next for the overtime show. If you have $5 in your pocket, and I know you do, all right, give it up. All right, make that investment. It's well worth the price of admission. We're going to talk some Bill Belichick. We're going to talk some GTA 6 and anything else that comes to mind. We're going to discuss that.
Like I said, it's a better show than the live show, and it would be an incredible birthday gift for Jose for you to sign up to the Patreon. And it's a special one. He is halfway to 90.
Halfway to 90, baby. Let's go. So. Also, send birthday love to Coach. All right. Go to his go. What's his Twitter? At Coach Evans.
At Coach Evans 9.
At Coach Evans 9. Send him a birthday shout out. If you're in his Discord, send him a birthday shout out. You see his video. Wish our guy a happy birthday. All right. All right. And LBHTShow.com. That's free, ladies and gentlemen. Free. I heard y'all love free. Okay. If it's free, get 3. LBHTShow.com. Sign up for the newsletter. There's merch in there too if you want to buy some merch. I know y'all check out the shirt. I know you like the shirt. I know. You can get one of those over there too. All right. You can get them in different colors as well.
And listen, if you've ever received an email, grab that email address, lbhtshow.com, put it in. All right. We're just trying to grow the newsletter. Every email you come across, throw it in that box.
Thank you, Big Cuz. Appreciate it. Appreciate that. All right. That is it. B, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Patreon members, get ready. The overtime show starts right now. Everybody else, have a great night, and we will see you next time. Peace.